What is up, valid peeps? Cadian here. Today is 2 years since I returned to making videos on my channel, and what better way to celebrate that than for me to remake a couple of my old videos and enter the Omniverse. I'll be taking a look at what my Pokemon team would be if I were a trainer in the Pokemon anime for the first half, and showing off what my Omnitrix playlist would be if I were an Omnitrix Wielder in the Ben 10 multiverse. Let's waste no more time and get started. Before that though, I should state that the Prime universe in the Omniverse is the Stalgis universe, where my OC project, Stalgis the Amber Savior, takes place. I've made 5 videos talking about it, which I have put together in the playlist if you're interested in learning about it. Anyways, what would my Pokemon team be if I were a trainer in the Pokemon anime? To start off, I'll show off what I would look like myself, and here you go. This was designed by my good friend Third Eye Artistry using myself as a reference, and I absolutely love how this looks. If you take a close look at each wrist, you'll be able to see a trans-coloured wristband on one, and a Mega Ring on the other. The region I would be from would have to be Sinnoh. It's the first region that I ever played through in a Pokemon game, so it holds a lot of meaning to me. Galar was a close second choice, being the region based on where I live in real life, the UK, so it would be what I'd consider as a second home. That's me. Now what about my team? Like the original, I'll be covering the main team of 6, but news for this one, I'll be covering 3 extra members for it too that would be on rotation with my main team. With all 9 members, I'll be giving a reason for why they're on my team. My first team member and ace of the team would be the Mach Pokemon Garchomp. It has its hidden ability Rough Skin, the moves Dragon Rush, Earthquake, Iron Tail, and Double Team, and holds its Mega Stone, Garchompite, allowing it to Mega Evolve into Mega Garchomp, changing its ability to Sand Force. Garchomp is my favourite pseudo-legendary Pokemon and in my top 5 favourite Pokemon. It's just a really well designed, incredibly cool and powerful Pokemon that I couldn't not have on my ideal team, especially since it has an awesome Mega Evolution. Second up is the virtual Pokemon Porygon Z. This Digital Dark has the ability Adaptability and the moves Hyper Beam, Thunderbolt, Psychic and Dark Pulse. The Porygon line has been my favourite normal type line for a long time, with Porygon 2 being my favourite design-wise. It's also a digital Pokemon, which I find to be very unique and fitting for me, since I do enjoy coding in my spare time. The Proto-Turtle Pokemon, Caracosta, would be my third Pokemon. This Water Rock type would have the ability Solid Rock and the moves Hydro Pump, Stone Edge, Ice Beam, and Iron Defense. Fossil Pokemon are one of my favourite groups of Pokemon, which is helped by the fact that I love prehistoric creatures, so I had to include one for my team. My 2 favourite fossil Pokemon are Caracosta and Aurorus, but I ultimately picked the former as I like it a bit better and also for the team's Watermon. The first of 2 starters for the team, Infernape, the flame Pokemon, is my 4th team member. As Sinnoh's fire-type starter Pokemon, it has the ability Blaze and the moves Flamethrower, Close Combat, Poison Jab, and Sword Stance. Chimchar was the first starter I ever picked in any Pokemon game, so by extension Infernape was my first ever fully evolved starter, which I have immense nostalgia for, easily making my top 5 favourite Pokemon of all time. Infernape is just such an awesome Pokemon with great physical power, special power, and speed, and I just had to put my favourite starter on my ideal team. As for the team's second startermon, that would be the Arrowquill Pokemon Decidueye, the main team's 5th member. This Alolan Avian has the ability Overgrow and the moves Leaf Blade, Spirit Shackle, Brave Bird, and Low Sweep. So I used to have an order for picking starters: Fire, Grass, then Water. And when it came to Pokemon Sun, it was Grass, so I picked Rowlet. I ended up really liking not just them, but also their evolution Dartrix, and then their final stage, Decidueye. Honestly, I just really like Decidueye in general, and Owl Archer is a really cool idea for a Pokemon, and Ghost is honestly a type I never thought would ever be picked for a member of any starter evolution line. The last Pokemon on my main team is actually one from the current generation. Lokix, the Grasshopper Pokemon, armed with the ability Swarm and the moves X-Scissor, Throat Chop, Axe Kick, and Bounce. When I found out there was going to be a Kamen Rider inspired Pokemon in Generation 9, I was really excited, because as you will all know very well from what I normally talk about on this channel, I absolutely love Kamen Rider. In my playthrough of Pokemon Violet earlier this year, I used one named Yuriko, after the true identity of Electrowave Human Tackle, the first female transforming character in Kamen Rider. So that's the main team. Now for my extra team members, and the first is the punk Pokemon Toxtricity, specifically in its amped form. This rock star of a Pokemon has the ability Punk Rock and the moves Overdrive, Boom Burst, Sludge Bomb, and Drain Punch. With Galar being my second home as a Pokemon trainer in the anime, I had to include a Pokemon introduced in that region on my team. Electric Poison is a really unique type combination, and Toxtricity has a great design to go with it. My second extra team member is the team's only regional variant, Alola Ninetales, the Fox Pokemon. This Ice-type Pokemon would have the ability Snowcloak, and would be able to use the moves Freeze Dry, Moonblast, Extra Sensory, and Heal Bell. Ninetales has always been such a mysterious, mystical Pokemon, both its Cantonian variant and the Alola variant that I have on my team. They're honestly a very pretty and elegant Pokemon, and I definitely feel its gentle temperament would be a positive presence to have on the team. My third extra and overall final team member is the Iron Leg Pokemon Metagross. They would have the ability Clear Body and the moves Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, Hammer Arm, and Ice Punch. This final member took quite a while to figure out, but I got it in the end. I was a bit skeptical about having a Nana Pseudo Legendary on the team, but honestly Metagross is just really cool, being this super intelligent metallic monster, and one of only 2 Pseudo Legendaries that aren't Dragon type. And with that, I've created my complete Pokemon team if I were a Pokemon trainer in the Pokemon anime. Now, if I were an Omnitrix Wielder in the Ben 10 multiverse, what would my alien playlist look like? Once again, I'll begin with my personal look, and here it is. Like before, this was made by Third Eye Artistry with myself as a reference, and I really like how it came out. Of course, my Omnitrix is included in this design, being a blend of the Ultimatrix and Omniverse Omnitrix designs, albeit with a different colour scheme. That's what I'd look like, so now what aliens would be on my playlist? One alien does have a unique design for each user of it, the same of course would apply to my aliens, but I don't have any for any of them right now. I'll start off with the playlist of my initial 10 aliens as per the original video, but then after, I'll go over the first 5 additional aliens that I would get later. For all 15 of them, reasons will be given for why I'd want to have them. First up from the original series is the Galvanic Mechamorph Upgrade, my favourite alien in all of Ben 10. Upgrade is an alien I have loved since I saw the show as a kid. I love their technology-based powers, they've always seemed so cool to me. The Omniverse design is my favourite one, albeit I don't like the Omnitrix placement as it means they can't use the eye laser the original series one had. But overall, there's no way I couldn't not include Upgrade in my 10. For my second alien, I'm picking quite a cool alien force transformation. Big Chill, a Necrophrygian. Honestly, I just like Big Chill in general. Ice Breath is a pretty cool power, and its alien force design is great. Its slender build making it rather creepy in a way, which fits with its intangibility powers. My Omnitrix wouldn't have an evolution feature, but Ultimate Big Chill is great too. Let's not talk about the Omniverse design of Big Chill though. Look how they massacred them! NRG, the Pripyatosian bee transformation introduced in Ultimate Alien, is the third alien in my playlist. Outside of the core 4 elements, Plasma Manipulation is arguably the manipulation power I'd want the most. While NRG doesn't have exactly that, it's pretty close, and the idea of being an alien contained within a suit is pretty neat, especially since they can leave the suit. By far the strongest of my starting 10, my 4th pick is Atomics from Omniverse. One of the reasons I like Atomics is that their powers remind me of NRG because of radiation and nuclear energy and such. Also, I'm a sucker for absolute powerhouses, and Atomics definitely qualifies for that as one of the strongest aliens in the series, and definitely the strongest in my first 10. One of 6 new transformations introduced in the reboot, my 5th pick is Shockrock. Shockrock is really cool. With powers once again being nearly plasma manipulation, it's electrical manipulation, but the way it's done is pretty cool. I love the colour of their energy, the rocky armour covering their body, and it's definitely the reboot's best designed new alien. Each of these next 4 are associated with each of the classical elements: air, earth, fire, and water. Terra Spin for air, Armadillo for earth, Heat Blast for fire, and Water Hazard for water. Terra Spin I don't really have anything to say about, though Armadillo and Water Hazard have good designs on their own, and I really like the latter's Omniverse design. 3 of these 4 elementals are from the Andromeda 5, and now I have 4 of those 5 in my 10, and for good reason, because I really like the Andromeda aliens. And Heat Blast is there. While I do have a heat-based alien already with NRG, they're not directly fire-based, and Heat Blast is literally on fire, so they fit the bill. I like Heat Blast on their own anyways. The rocky layer with the magma and fire is pretty cool, or rather should I say, hot. My last pick for the main 10 is an alien that goes pretty hard, the Petrosapien transformation, Diamond Head. I mainly picked them out to fill out the 10, though I really like them anyways, being my second favourite of the original series' first 10 aliens, with awesome powers and a consistently great design across the original, Ultimate Alien Force and Omniverse series. Diamond Head's versatility with their crystals is pretty cool, being able to form all sorts of weapons and tools, and also being super durable thanks to their crystalline body. That's it for the main 10, but of course Ben had far more than 10 transformations, so I absolutely would too, and thus I'll be covering the first additional 5 that I get. The first 2 of these 5 are both from the Anur system: Sinnoh, the Fepkufan, and Blitzwolfer, the Leboan. The 3 Anur aliens from the original series' second 9 aliens all have pretty cool designs, and these 2 are my favourites of them. Sinnoh has my favourite design and powers of the initial Anur 3, and it produces a pretty neat fusion when combined with Upgrade in the original series' DNA lab. Blitzwolfer is just cool. Honestly, a werewolf alien with an ultrasonic howl is just perfect. Third for the extra 5 is a transformation that's not just big, it's way big. I'm including way big in my alien selection for the same reason I included low kicks in my anime Pokémon team, for my love of tokusatsu. If you couldn't tell, way big is inspired by Ultraman, being a giant red alien with very Ultraman-like powers such as enhanced strength and shooting beams. As I said before, my Omnitrix wouldn't have an evolution feature, but I do like how Ultimate Way Big references other Ultras like Taro and Dinah. Penultimately for my alien picks is the one that gave Maltruant his very own Big Bang, the Conductoid Feedback. Originally having picked Gravitak for this spot, I changed them to Feedback because they've got a neat design and their energy absorption powers are pretty damn overpowered, along with being the one to finish off the classic series' final villain. Last for these extra 5 is by far the strongest transformation the franchise has shown. Hailing from the Forge of Creation is Alien X! Much like I said with Atomics, I love overpowered characters in media, and Alien X is even more so than that one. They're basically omnipotent, and even though they do have that one massive drawback of them having multiple consciousnesses, it's a very understandable drawback for the power set they have, and they're still an alien that I'd want on my playlist. In the end, those would be my first 15 alien transformations if I were an Omnitrix Wielder in the Ben 10 multiverse. So that was my adventure into the KDverse. I hope y'all enjoyed that. A big thank you to Third Eye Artistry for the Pokémon Trainer and Omnitrix Wielder versions of myself. They take commissions, so if you're interested in commissioning them, I'll put their Twitter handle on screen and a link to their portfolio down in the description. Thank you so much, all your valid peeps, for supporting the channel for the last couple of years, and here's to its future. To end off the video, I'll do something I haven't done in quite some time, which is to personally thank my patrons for supporting the channel. Toko Experiment, Armor Hide, and Sunny Go Lucky. It's been 2 years since I came back now, so I thought it would be rather appropriate. You can join them in supporting me for just £2 a month, where you'll be able to get early access to new videos that I put out, exclusive content, and sneak peeks of my future videos. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks y'all so much for 2 years, and with all that being said, I'll see all your valid peeps next time.